In this video, you will learn how to calculate the surface area and volume of a sphere. First, let's review some general terminology associated with a sphere. A sphere is the set of all points in a space equidistant from a given point in the center. And the radius of the segment is the one has the endpoint in the center and the other endpoint on the sphere, very similar to a radius of a circle. Similarly, a diameter is a segment passing through the center with endpoints on the sphere, so it goes all the way across the circle. And the great circle would be the newer terminology that is a plane that intersects the sphere through the center. Additionally, if you have a great circle that divides the sphere, it splits it into two hemispheres, and the circumference of the sphere is the circumference of the great circle. And we can call it either the two hemispheres, and it makes into two semicircles. Now, as we saw from the video, there isn't a perfect relationship to connect the volume and surface area of a sphere to the other formulas. These are formulas you just kind of have to remember. Our formula for a surface area is that surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, and you can remember it's r squared because it's unit squared. And the volume is 4/3 pi r to the third power. For the first example, it asks us to calculate the surface area and volume of the sphere. So for a surface area, it's 4 pi r squared. So if I substitute, I get 4 pi times 12 squared. So surface area equals 12 squared times 4. So it's 576 pi miles squared. For the volume, it's 4/3 pi r to the third power. So if I substitute, you get 4/3 times pi times the radius is 12 to the third power. Now that's either multiplying, if you're not sure what 12 to the third means, you can either use your calculator, or if you're doing it by hand, it really means you're multiplying 12 times 12 times 12. So if I do 12 to the third power, that becomes, so V equals 4/3 times pi times, this becomes 1,728. And if you further simplify this, it gives you 2304. Again, it's in terms of pi, meters cubed. For the next example, we're finding the surface area and volume again. So if I were to find surface area equals 4 pi r squared. Now this problem gives us that the diameter is 8, so we can imply that the radius is 4. So if I substitute surface area equals 4 pi times 4 squared, that'll give us, that's 4 times 4 squared, which is 64. So surface area is 64 pi meters squared. The volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So volume equals 4/3 pi times that radius of 4 to the third power. So if I simplify 4 to the third first, we get volume is 4/3 times pi times 64. And if I multiply the 64 times 4/3, you get a decimal. Now you can either write it as 85.33 pi, or the more proper way to write it would be write it as a mixed number, or an improper fraction. So it'd be 256 pi over 3 meters cubed.